In the previous class, we were discussing about osteomyelitis, and I told you how specifically pyogenic osteomyelitis, how bacterial infection can proliferate and grow inside your bone. Specifically, we came to the point where I told you that sometimes there will be suppuration inside your periosteal layer. There will be subperiosteal abscesses being formed. So directly under the periosteal layer, you will see abscesses being formed, hence the name subperiosteal abscess. And there will be a lot of impairment in blood supply because of this abscess creation. Nearby blood vessels will get damaged, and obviously the blood vessels that are already present, which have not been damaged, they will start getting compressed because of the abscess. It will start putting pressure. As such, what will happen is impairment of blood supply occurs. Now, as a result of suppuration and impairment of blood supply, you will see a special type of fracture necrosis that occurs in the cortex of the brain. That fracture necrosis is called sequestrum. So this is where we stopped in the last class, till sequestrum, where fracture necrosis is occurring as a result of suppuration and impairment of blood supply. Now, eventually, what happens is in that bone, over time, let's suppose the patient is not getting cured, the patient is not getting treated, there will be formation of new bone. So, obviously, there is injury, your body is trying to heal that injury, and as a result, there will be formation of new bone. Okay? Specifically, a new bone formation occurs directly under the periosteum. Okay? It will be present in such a way that it is under the periosteum but over the infected bone. So, you will see a very special condition in which that necrosed area, so let's suppose this is the bone, let us suppose this is the area that has undergone suppuration and there is necrosis occurring in that area. Let us suppose there is suppuration here, abscess being formed, and there is necrosis here. Let us suppose it is mixed with area of necrosis. Okay, and it is spreading. Now what happens is you will see new growth of bone being formed around this. Essentially, it will form a case like structure around it. So imagine that new bone which is being formed is green in color, just so that you understand. It is not green in color, it's white, but I cannot show white on white. So imagine this is the new layer of bone that is being formed on it. Okay, which your body is trying to repair and essentially making a new bone under the periosteum, because of which what will happen is there will be a casing around that necrosed area. This casing will be called involucrum. Okay, so around that necrotic area, around that abscessed area, you will see that new bone is being formed, and that new bone forms an encasing sheet around that necrosed bone. That encasing sheet is called involucrum. Okay, actually an image, hold on. हाँ, ये देखो. So initially there is a site of infection, that is the site of infection, and as you can see, blood supply gets blocked because of abscesses being formed. Subperiosteal abscesses sometimes will grow in such a way, and you will see that sequestrum is being formed. Sequestrum eventually gets covered by new bone being formed. यहाँ पर नीचे देखो, ऊपर sequestrum दिखा रहा हूँ ना, dead bone. Right under that, under pus being escaped, under that you can see that the new bone is being formed around the sequestrum. That is essentially your, involucrum. All right. Now, if this neo osteogenesis as a new bone formation continues to happen, long continuous neo-osteogenesis will cause sclerosing. वहां पर hardening of those structures will occur. ठीक है, a sclerosing kind of pattern will appear, sclerosing pattern of osteomyelitis will appear, and that is essentially called chronic sclerosing non-suppurative osteomyelitis of Gar. So once again, what is happening is, if involucrum is being formed, so obviously new bone is being formed. As new bone starts being formed, let's suppose that process goes on for a long period of time. What will happen is, as this a new osteogenesis is occurring, the surrounding structures will also start hardening. Like a sclerosing will occur. So that essentially involves a sclerotic pattern, dense sclerotic pattern of osteomyelitis occurs. That dense sclerotic pattern of osteomyelitis is called chronic because it is going on for a long period of time, sclerosing because there is a sclerosing change occurring there, non-suppurative because वहां पर अभी suppuration रुक गया, new bone is being formed. Okay, non-suppurative osteomyelitis of Gar. That is the name of that condition. Okay, so because there is continuous formation of new bone, and as new bone formation occurs, that infection or that suppuration is being stopped in one area. That whole condition is called chronic sclerosing non-suppurative osteomyelitis of Gar. All right. Now, occasionally, what will happen is sometimes you will have acute osteomyelitis wherein uh, it will be walled off by fibrous tissue. Granulation tissue and fibrous tissue will come around that suppurative area. जहाँ पर osteomyelitis हो रहा है उसके तरफ, because this is an inflammatory reaction, obviously there will be fibrous tissue coming into picture. Sometimes that fibrous tissue and granulation tissue will completely cover that area, that localized area of osteomyelitis. Those abscesses that are being formed as a result will be called Brody's abscesses. Okay. This is a special type of abscess that is being encased by, or it is being surrounded by granulation tissue and by fibrous tissue. Okay. This happens sometimes. कभी कभी osteomyelitis may occur in the vertebral column. ठीक है. Vertebral osteomyelitis will generally occur when the infection starts at the disc level. So you have the intervertebral discs present in between the vertebral bone, right? So generally what happens is the infection itself will start at the layer of the disc, and it will start spreading around. It will spread to the vertebral bodies. That will be a vertebral osteomyelitis. Now, as such, in pyogenic osteomyelitis, there are a few common complications that can occur. Osteomyelitis, if it is left unchecked, other conditions will also develop. Those other conditions, those other uh, complications will be septicemia. So the infection might spread to your blood. Okay. Obviously, if it is occurring in the bone, the blood vessels inside the bone are getting affected, and those around the bone are also getting affected. Eventually, that infection can reach a blood vessel, leading to septicemia. It can cause acute bacterial arthritis. It can go to any other joint, and it can cause inflammation of that joint because of infection there. Okay, bacterial infection. You might have pathological fractures. um, Development of squamous cell carcinoma might occur. Amyloidosis might occur. Secondary amyloidosis. Amyloidosis is a condition in which there is a special protein that is excessively being formed in your body called amyloid protein. It will cause a number of different problems inside your body, systemic problems, but it can be triggered by pyogenic osteomyelitis. And another last complication will be vertebral osteomyelitis. So these are all effects of pyogenic osteomyelitis. Then we have another special type of osteomyelitis called tubercular osteomyelitis or tuberculous osteomyelitis, whatever you call it. Obviously, as the name suggests, Mycobacterium tuberculosis is reaching the bone marrow. Okay, it might reach the bone marrow and synovium, most commonly by hematogenous dissemination. Okay, there is infection in the lungs, and it is spreading to the local blood vessels, local lymph nodes, and ultimately it is spreading to the nearby bone. Okay, sometimes it might be a direct extension of a miliary TB. Okay, for example, let's suppose miliary TB भी नहीं रहा तो you know that sometimes TB can affect areas other than your lungs. So directly primary infection might not occur in lungs. Primary infection might occur in some other place. So for example, if the primary infection occurred in GIT, okay, or it might even occur from pulmonary spaces. But in any way, यहाँ से it is spreading to bone. In the sense, instead of hematogenous spread, it is going locally. जहाँ पर नजदीक नजदीक structures है. For example, if it is in the lungs, it is going to your rib cage and the bones of your rib cage, things like that. तो nearby local bones जो है उनको affect करना start कर रहा. GIT में है तो from GIT it might cross your peritoneum, it might affect your pelvic bone, or it might affect your vertebral bones. ठीक है. Most frequently, the bones that are affected will be bones of your extremities and spinal bones. These are the most affected kind of bones because of tuberculous osteomyelitis. Now, as such, what will happen in tuberculous osteomyelitis is that you'll see lesions on the bone. You will see central caseation occurring inside the bone, and you will see a lot of tuberculous granulation tissue coming in that area. Typical changes of your tuberculosis will occur. ठीक है, जो caseating changes हो रहे, degeneration of bone हो रहा, you might see formation of discharging sinuses, small areas where fluid will get filled. ठीक है, especially those sinuses will discharge through either soft tissue or through skin, and inside that sinus you will see caseating material. ठीक है, sometimes joint spaces, sometimes intervertebral discs, they are getting affected because of tuberculosis. The patient is having tuberculosis and those areas are getting affected. Compression fractures might occur as a result because bones are becoming brittle. They might be subject to compression fractures. Okay, and also destruction of intervertebral discs, because of which the patient's spinal position and spinal mobility will be extremely affected. ठीक है, what are compression fractures? Have you ever come across अच्छा, आप लोगों को fractures के बारे में पढ़ाए थे क्या? Different types of fractures, 6 types of fractures. No, never taught. कभी इंट्रोडक्शन भी नहीं दिया तुम लोगों को? What are fractures and what are the types of fractures बोल के?
Close fractures or open fractures?
Excuse me, I wasn't able to hear you. There's a lot of background noise.
Close fracture, open fractures.
Okay, close fracture, open
और
fracture.
क्या है?
Acha, do one thing. Find out and tell me. Agar if you can tell close and open, then I'm guessing that you have been taught at least given an overview of what are fractures, what are the type of fractures. Find out and tell me what are the 6 types of fractures that can occur in bones of your body tomorrow. Okay. All right. Now coming to the next topic, we have arthritis. So arthritis may, there are several different types of arthritis. It can be osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, tuberculous arthritis, suppurative arthritis, gouty arthritis. आप लोगों को ये पूरे आपके syllabus में है. We'll discuss them one after the other. First, we'll start with osteoarthritis. So this is also called osteoarthrosis, or it is also known as degenerative joint disease. Okay, those two are common names of osteoarthritis. This is essentially a chronic disorder of synovial joints. What are your synovial joints? Can you give me an example of your synovial joint?
Movable joints.
Ball and socket.
Ball and socket joint. Any specific example that you can give? Akansha, you're telling something. I couldn't hear you clearly. अच्छा, ball and socket joint किधर रहता? If you're telling ball and socket joint, where can you see?
Arm, sir.
Arms. Acha, where specifically in the arms? Ma, there are several, almost 50-60 joints in my arm. Which joint are you specifically talking about? 50-60 इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ because all the joints of your wrist are also joints in the arm.
At shoulder, sir.
Shoulder, yes, okay. So the joint between your humerus and your pectoral girdle, and that is a synovial joint. More common ones are like easier ones to remember is knee. No, knee is a synovial joint. Even though it is a pseudo joint, it is a synovial joint. I hope you know that knee is a pseudo joint. It is not a true joint. It is not a true articulation as such. It is just two bones coming close to each other. Anyway, so synovial joints में होने का ये चांस ज्यादा रहता. So in this what will happen is there will be progressive degenerative changes occurring in the cartilage of that joint. The articular cartilage which is present in between the synovial joint, over years these will start degenerating. ठीक है. Specifically this will occur, osteoarthritis occurs in weight bearing joints. So the joints of your lower bodies are more commonly affected by osteoarthritis. So if I show you an image, देखो ऐसा रहता है osteoarthritis में. Essentially what is happening is, what you see on the left is a healthy knee joint, and on the right you can see that the articular cartilage, which is essentially acting as a cushion in between your femur and your tibia, those start getting degenerated. And as a result what will happen is, over years, if the cartilage is completely getting degenerated, the bones will start creaking, they will start grazing against each other, they will start rubbing against each other, because of which there'll be a lot of pain, and you will see that the bones will start looking ivory in shape. Okay. Essentially your bones are pristine white. Okay. Because they are having a lot of friction in between each other, because they are rubbing against each other again and again, because of that friction they'll become smooth. Okay. That is the result, byproduct of osteoarthritis. Now osteoarthritis can occur in two forms. It can either occur primary or in primary form or secondary osteoarthritis. Primary occurs in elderly people. Okay. Specifically it is more common in women than in men. Okay. Secondary osteoarthritis can occur at any age. There are a number of factors that will affect a person having secondary arthritis, but essentially the manifestation is more conspicuous in large joints, especially in secondary osteoarthritis. Large joints like hip, knee, your back, ये पूरे ज़्यादा affect होते हैं secondary osteoarthritis में. Anyway, the pathological changes that you see inside in osteoarthritis can be threefold. Okay, three particular changes that will occur. First of all, changes in your articular cartilages. So articular या articulation means joint. ठीक है, जहां पर भी एक joint है उसको articulation बोलते हैं. So articular cartilages will refer to the cartilage that is present in between your joint. In this you will see regressive changes. As I showed you that cartilage will start degenerating and it will regress. So it will seem like it is not present at all. Okay, you will see decrease in the amount of cartilage, literally decrease in the amount of cartilage, and mostly in weight bearing joints. As I told you, weight bearing regions of articular joints, there is loss of your cartilaginous matrix, and progressively you will see loss of normal metachromasia. Okay, you will generally see that the cartilage is becoming thinner and thinner, and after a while it will completely disappear. Okay, the joint space also will become very narrow, hence you are having that friction against joints, एक bone दूसरी bone के against rub हो रही. Then there will be a few changes in the bone itself, because these bones are coming into contact with each other. What will happen is subchondral bone. So subchondral bone, the bone which is present under your cartilage. So let us suppose this is your joint essentially, and this is another part of your joint, knee joint ही समझो. And let us suppose I make a thin layer of cartilage. Let us suppose your cartilage is purple in color. ऐसा है. So subchondral मतलब ये जो chondra layer है cartilage के अंदर, ये वाला layer, those will start appearing like polished ivory. Okay, you will see death of superficial osteocytes. Sometimes you will see increased activity of osteoclast, increased osteoclastic activity, along with death of local osteocytes. Okay, sometimes you might also see microfractures occurring. Okay, because of this increased osteoclastic activity, you will see microfractures occurring in the bone. So small fractures like this will occur, which will make it very painful, and it will make the joint very brittle as well. Then finally, the third change that occurs will be in your synovium. Initially in the synovium there will be no change, but as arthritis progresses, or specifically as osteoarthritis progresses, you will see that the patient will have low grade chronic synovitis. ठीक है, the synovial layer will start becoming inflamed. ठीक है, जो आसपास का synovial cells रहते हैं, synovial layer रहता, that will start becoming inflamed, and the villi that are present, synovial villi, they will undergo hypertrophy. This is occurring as a result of that friction. Essentially what is happening is your body is trying to increase the amount of synovial fluid by increasing by causing villi hypertrophy, but that will not exactly help because the cushion which is present in between is being degenerated. जो आपका cartilage है, that is being degenerated. That will become quite problematic. Then coming to the next type, that is osteoarthritis. Then we have rheumatoid arthritis. Now, rheumatoid arthritis is a multi-system disease with an unknown cause. ठीक है, there is a huge linkage to immunological cause. इसको sometimes immunological condition में categorize करते, कभी autoimmune condition में भी categorize करते. It can happen because of autoimmune causes, but essentially there is a immunological factor. Prominent manifestation of RA is that there will be inflammation, severe inflammatory arthritis. There will be inflammatory arthritis of your peripheral joints specifically. Okay, your wrists, your fingers, those will start getting affected. And along with that, you will see, and most of these are symmetric. Symmetric distribution, meaning both sides of the same joint will get affected. So for example, if the wrist is getting affected, both right and left wrist will get affected. That is symmetric distribution. Or if knees are getting affected, both the right and left knees will get affected. Along with this inflammatory arthritis, the patient will also show certain systemic manifestations. So hematological, pulmonary, neurological, cardiological, ये पूरे abnormalities होने लगते patient को. The cause is unknown. Okay. What we do know is that patients who are predisposed immunogenetically, there is some problem in their genealogy, there is some problem in one of their genes, because of which an immune problem develops. And essentially what will happen is, whenever one microbial agent enters, it can be any microbial agent, under the effect of microbes, RA gets triggered. So as such, by birth the patient might not show anything. ठीक है, symptomology दिखाना जरूरी नहीं है. But when the patient has a microbial infection, some random microbial infection, we do not know what type of microbial infection, but when a patient has microbial infection, that might act as a trigger. ठीक है, that might act as a trigger antigen which will trigger your immune cell or your immune system to cause rheumatoid arthritis. Pathologically, you will see that the patient's joints will get affected as well as their tendons. Okay. You might see less often extra-articular lesions, in the sense that lesions that are going, damage that is going outside of your joints. Mostly it will be confined to the joints. Specifically, agar articular lesions ho rahe, so first your small joints of your hands, small joints of your feet, those will start getting affected symmetrically. ठीक है, eventually what will happen is, so आपके hands and wrist के अंदर जो joints है, those will get affected symmetrically, and also your feet. So your tarsals, metatarsals, carpals, metacarpals, those will get affected. Your elbows, ankles, knees, eventually they'll also start getting affected. Okay. Interphalangeal and metacarpophalangeal joints will start getting severely affected. What are interphalangeal joints? Achha, what is a phalange? Or what are phalanges? Find out and tell me what is phalange. आप लोग, I'm sure last year आप लोगों को phalanges, metacarpophalanges के बारे में पढ़ाए होंगे. Carpals, metacarpals, tarsals, metatarsals, and what are phalanges? Okay, find out and tell me what are phalanges. So essentially what will happen is, interphalangeal and metacarpophalangeal joints will get severely affected. Extra-articular lesions which are occurring outside the joints, these are non-specific inflammatory changes. So non-specific inflammatory change का मतलब ये है, the patient might not have any specific inflammatory cause. मतलब जैसा अगर कोई autoimmune condition है previously known before they are diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. Let us suppose the patient had some other autoimmune condition, or even if they are having a microbial infection, it is understood that there will be inflammatory cause. But non-specific inflammatory changes ka matlab, uh, these are without any specific etiology, and they are very non-specific. They are not occurring in a particular pattern, neither are they occurring in a particular area. So you will see involvement of several structures of your body in inflammatory changes. So your blood vessels will get affected, vasculitis may occur, lungs will get affected, pneumonia might occur, pleural spaces might get affected, the patient's pericardium, inflammatory damage will occur in the pericardium, myocardium, lymph nodes, peripheral nerves, neuritis might occur, eyes will get affected. These are all extra articular changes. These are occurring all outside of your joints. One characteristic extra-articular manifestation that is seen in rheumatoid arthritis that you can use for diagnosis is rheumatoid nodules. Rheumatoid nodules जो है ऐसा दिखते हैं. So as you can see, big nodules will appear on various parts of the body, specifically on their hands, on the phalanges of the patient, on near the elbow. You will see that these will appear in other areas as well, vocal cords पे, eyes पे, lungs पे. बहुत अलग-अलग जगह ये nodules develop होना start हो जाते हैं. This is a characteristic feature of rheumatoid arthritis. Then we have suppurative arthritis. Now, as the name suggests, there is suppuration, meaning there is infection. Infection से suppuration हो रहा, abscess form हो रहा. There is acute inflammatory involvement of the joint. Joint space के अंदर bacteria is reaching and it is spreading. It is contaminating that area. Sometimes it can be direct contamination of an open wound. Let's suppose the patient has a complicated fracture, or they have a big wound, and from that wound, the bacteria are reaching the joint, or sometimes it might be lymphatic spread as well. As in the patient is having a, how should I put it? They're having a systemic infection. That systemic infection is reaching a lymph nodes, and from the lymph nodes, it is going to various parts of your body, including the joints. And inside the joint is causing a suppurative arthritis. It is causing suppurative arthritis. Immunocompromised patients and patients who have debilitating injuries or debilitating conditions. Let's suppose they have some chronic disorders. Yeah, immunocompromised there. Immunocompromised patients or debilitated patients, or patients who have been suffering from a chronic condition for a long period of time, they have higher susceptibility to suppurative arthritis. Pathologically, you will see that this is more often monoarticular. It will affect a single joint rather than affecting multiple joints. ठीक है? Polyarticular मतलब multiple joints को affect कर रहा. Polyarticular means multiple joints. Monoarticular means something that happens in one joint. So suppurative arthritis mostly occurs in a single joint. Mostly large joints of your lower extremities, such as knee, hip, ankle. Sometimes it can occur in the upper joints as well. For example, in your shoulder joint, or it can also occur in your sternoclavicular joint. Sternum and clavicle का जो joint रहता वहां पर हो सकता कभी. Okay, these are favorable sites essentially. You will see a lot of inflammatory granulation tissue coming into that area. Fibrous adhesions will be made, and what will happen is because of these adhesions, ankylosis occurs. So the end of the joints जो रहते हैं, let's suppose these are two ends of a joint, those will get ankylosed. They will get stuck with each other because of inflammation. Inflammation की वजह से जो fibrous adhesions form हो रहे हैं, those fibrous adhesions will essentially make those joints, those two ends of the joint stick together, and when they stick together, permanent ankylosing will occur, or permanent ankylosis will occur. Okay, this condition in which the joints are getting stuck will be called ankylosis. So that is about suppurative arthritis. Tomorrow we'll continue with tuberculous arthritis and gouty arthritis.